Ladies and gentlemen, I think you just heard the Amerindian farewell, by the way, and you might have wanted to know why you couldn't quite understand what was being said. But I would most want Mr. Crichton to say a few words about that last group of songs, and you will notice that they played the Economy for you. Because we didn't think that could be missed. So, would you like to say?
Okay, I will say something about it as long as you don't ask me to translate it. You will note that I did mention earlier on about the folk songs, the Guyanese folk songs, Caribbean folk songs, that have the ballad form, the kind of ballad form, the structure, the rhythm, and the meter, and so on, that particular kind of folk song. This particular one is totally different. And that is because it is from a different culture, which does not use any of those strains in the music. But it is the kind of song that represents the Amerindian folk songs that you hardly ever hear. And those that do exist really very badly need to be collected and preserved. I am told that Korokwa means remembrance, and therefore it would be a good idea for Korokwa to have songs like those that they can keep in the repertoire and preserve them. The song had a plaintive quality, the farewell song, the plaintive quality of it, and the kind of tone and rhythm and everything. I keep commenting on the completeness of these folk forms. And in this particular one, it's complete. The mood, the tone, the kind of melody it has, the pace, the rhythm of it, everything is complete for a farewell song in that particular Amerindian folk tradition. Now, in one or two of the others that they performed, we have another one like Lily Gal with Bendora. And you see where Bendora didn't listen, and you know what happened to her. So you get that other kind of song, which I'm saying is used for social control, used for the correction of errant behavior, and so on. So we get that particular one belonging to that group. The Bendora gal can be belonging to that particular group, and you have those belonging to the group of Port Knockers songs, like Economy, the river song, and Timberman, the old thing about the timber and that particular element of Guyanese life in the bush, and so on. So you get those coming out in some of those songs. And this other one, Bessie Down, I would describe as high burlesque. It's also high burlesque. And even the spirit in which Korokwa performed it, that brings out that high burlesque element in it. And the kind of mock elevation and the kind of mock sophistication, and to describe something which is much more basic and much more sensual. And so you get that in the song. Of Bessie Down, where the kind of song that is performed with gleeful abandon, performed with this gleeful abandon, and mocked with the kind of church choir kind of thing. So that these are all some of the forms in the songs, and I did mention the very strong satirical tradition that is there, and some of these songs come from that strong satirical tradition. So I think that is what I would say about the collection, the selections of songs that you heard tonight. A very rich range from many different types of Guyanese and Caribbean folk songs. I must mention, though, in the Sangere, which is, I mentioned the very strong tradition in Trinidad that this type of song may belong to. The ringing of the bell is a part of the Shango Baptist, a part of the spiritual Baptist religion, in Trinidad, which was banned in 1917 by the colonial authorities, because the Spiritual Baptist is a fusion church, a kind of a hybrid church between Christianity and the African religion. And what they do is they do Christian worship because that's what they're supposed to do, and that's what they want people to believe that they are doing, but they do it in the African traditions. And the ringing of the bell is a part of it, the ringing of the bell, and the possession, the spiritual possession, that is also a part of that tradition and in the song. It was banned by the authorities because of those things, because of the bell ringing and the possession element of it, and so on. And so that the performance of that song that you saw captured some of these particular things in it. And because when the Spiritual Baptists are worshiping, that is how they worship. They worship through spiritual possession, the ringing of the bell and that particular kind, which of course did not quite meet the approval of the colonial authorities, who were basically suspicious of it, and suspicious of it with good reason. And so they banned it. The ban was repealed in 1951, I think. It was repealed in 1951. And then sometime in the 1990s, the Spiritual Baptists were given a holiday for themselves, because they played a very important role in the history of Trinidad, cultural history of Trinidad, and of these particular folk religions. So those are a few of the things I would like to say. Thank you very much.
We've been listening to these songs, and of course, I must say a very great thank you to Al for giving us an idea of where these songs originated and how they played a role. But to really thank you properly, I'm going to ask a lady who is an advisor to the board of Moray House. As you know, at Moray House we say culture matters. And tonight, I think she will do it much more appropriately than I ever could. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joyce Jonas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you'll agree that we've had a delightful evening. Would you like to just give them another round of applause to show? But we do appreciate that background that we were given. Thank you very much, Mr. Crichton. And again, it's the result of a lot of work and research. So thank you. But there's one other person who needs to be thanked, and that's the person who pulled it all together. And we here at Moray House very, very much appreciate the work that Russell Lancaster puts in to events like this. We enjoyed the Christmas concert, and now here we are enjoying yet another concert that he has worked on. And he's just quietly there, well, sometimes not so quietly, but in the background, getting on with pulling things together. And we really, really appreciate what Russell does for us. And so Moray House wanted to say thank you in a more tangible way. And so Russell, if you'd like to come and receive this small token of our appreciation. Thank you very much.
This is a surprise.
So that was from Moray House and from Friends of Moray House. I'm reminded that oh goodness, and how could I have forgotten the messengers? And I enjoyed them so much. I was trying to figure out who was that amazing bass voice, and it was the skinniest fellow. I couldn't quite believe it. I was totally fascinated. No, I'm sorry, how could I have forgotten? I really, really enjoyed them, and I know you did too. So let's give them another round of applause. And I understand now that Karokwa are going to send us home with one more song, Sun A Go Down. Thank you very much.
Sun
We'd like to thank you all for coming, of course, and please join us for refreshments. And once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you the next occasion here at Moray House. Have a safe trip.